everyone, it's Anya here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today is week 2 of our project bag cal, and we are starting the sides and we are doing a chevron pattern. Okay everyone, so we are now ready for week 2. So we have made the base of our bag last week. Hopefully you were able to do it. Not easy. My fingers were sort of a little bit fragile, but I think in the end it will be worth it because we will have a nice sturdy bag. So yeah, it's quite a disc-like. I can fold it, but it still is, you know, quite sturdy. So this is going to be the inside of our bag. So that's, you know, the not so pretty side. This one here I'm going to keep as my outside of the bag. So where did I finish? Here. So this is where I've pulled through my loop for the last time there. So I'm going to turn it like this. So I have the good side sort of facing towards me, the bad side facing up. Let me just put my hook back in my loop, and I am going to do a chain. We always did a chain, so that's not much different there. This time, for the first round now, we are going to establish that we are starting the sides. So all along your edge, you now have 96 V's. So from now on, every row is going to be 96 stitches. We are going to start by doing back loop and third loop only stitches. So let me just show you. So we have the V's here, front loop, back loop, and then here, this line here, that is the third loop. So this time we're going to do single crochets. We're going to pick up the front loop and you tip it further towards you to see the third loop, and you pick that one up as well. Then, keeping it all nice and tight, we are going to do a single crochet. Next stitch, same thing again, 1 and 2 loops, but of course it's the back loop and third loop, and you do your single crochet. There is a way of getting into that third loop easier, and that's sort of by angling your hook down a certain angle, and you'll just have to work that out after a couple of stitches. It might not be so easy with this yarn. I have done it, I do it all the time with DK and stuff, and you sort of doof and you're in, but obviously, yeah, see, this worked. So once you get that, once you get that angle right, you might be picking them both up, but if not, then please do make the effort of picking both of them up. The reason why we do that is, A, we have a nice little edge here, so that will denote from where the base is to the side, and B, because we're picking up 2 loops, it's going to make our transition better, so you won't have any holes. See, if you just were to pick up, let me just do that. If you were to pick up just this one there, look, can you see there's a hole? And you don't get that with the others. That is why we pick up the third loop, because that just makes it tighter, closed up better, better attached, all those kinds of lovely things. Okay, so you will have to do that all along your round. So 1 stitch in each stitch around, picking up the back loop and the third loop. There we go. I will see you when you get here. So I've done my first round of back loop and third loop only single crochets. Now here at the end it was a little bit sort of touch and go almost, because obviously it's difficult to see where to put it but I counted my stitches, so I worked out that actually I had to put one there because otherwise I wouldn't make it for my 96 stitches. So in this project, how are we going to do our slip stitch? I am doing it every row, but I am just going to show you here how to do it properly. So we have done our stitches, we've come and done the last one here, and now we are ready to do the slip stitch. The slip stitch is going to go under this V here, but we are not going to just do it like that. We are going to take our hook out of our loop. We are then going to go through the slip stitch from the back. Then you take your loop and you put it around your hook, tighten everything a little bit, and then pull it through to the back. Again, pulling it really tight so you can't see it. Then I always sort of try to pull it a little bit, take your hook out again, then you go to the stitch which is the first stitch. So this was the last stitch that you did, this is the first stitch of your round, and you go through there in the location that we normally go through it, okay? And you take the loop and you put it around your hook and you bring that through that stitch. This is now going to be the first stitch of the round, and it's going to lay just like the others. We are doing a chain, and this is how you are going to be doing your slip stitch each time and your first chain. So it depends, sometimes you might need to change colors there, but this is the basic technique for your slip stitch for all your rounds, okay? I am inserting this in round 1 and round 2 because I just didn't show you clearly enough. Okay, so we are going back to round 1 now. So we're at the end of round 1 and we are starting round 2. Find that particular location to go into, so where the V's meet, underneath there, you go in there. And again, make sure it's not too tight. Yeah, look, I've come out. Am I in between the two legs? Yeah, I am. I'm below the third loop there. And I am going to do my single crochet right there. There we are. Okay. And this is how you are going to go round. And we are doing another 2 rounds, so this one and another one. So in total we are doing 3 rounds of the steel color. So I will see you at the end here. So I have made it to the end of my second row here. As you can see, my edge is already standing up nicely, so that's working out okay. So I finished my round like this. I take my hook out, then making sure you go into the next V there. You go into the V from the back, put your loop around the hook, tighten it nicely, and then pull it back, making sure you've got a little bit of a loop there. Then, like I said, pull it a little bit bigger, yeah. Then you go back out with your hook, then from the front you insert in between those 2 legs there and underneath the third loop, as we usually do. You loop that loop over and you bring it to the front. And now you've got your sort of hook there, because if you had it like this, it would be twisted, your little loop. So take your hook out, make sure this loop is not twisted but lying nicely like that, because that then is going to make your stitch there, and you won't see that it was your, you know, changing row loop, but kind of thing. Then you do a chain and you're ready for your next stitch. So keep going into that location there beneath the location where the V's meet, under the third loop at the back, and making sure that you do it loosely. I find if you do it a little bit more loosely, then it's easier to do. There we go. And so this is the look that we are going for. Make sure that every sort of V that you lay here, that it's lying nicely, sort of not twisted or anything, so that will improve the look of your work. I will see you when you're finished this row here, and we will finally be changing color. But I might also soon be changing my skein, because this is all I have left. So when this happens, I will be there as well to show you how to change to the next color or to the same color. Okay, so I have done my base and about 2.5 rows. This is the end here, so I've got about just under half to do, and I finished my skein of cord. So I now need to start another one. So this is what we are going to do. So you start your stitch by going into the usual place. You bring up the yarn like so, as usual. But then instead of using this bit here, or a very short bit, which will be running out soon, we are going to use the next bit. So you just pretend as if this is the one that you are already crocheting with. You yarn over and you pull through. Now obviously I've been talking and I've been pulling things, so just readjust the ends here so you've got a lovely uniform looking stitch. What you can do is just give these two a knot just to secure them, like so. Okay, just a gentle knot, and then there we go, and then you just crochet on with the new skein that you've just put on. There we go, and it all looks the same, you can't see the difference. And this is also how we are going to be changing colors. So soon, when I have finished this third round here, we are going to start incorporating new colors, and that's how we are going to be doing that as well. But before that, let's look at how I am going to be sewing in the ends, because obviously, let me just take this out and put that to the side. Obviously, we are not just going to put this on a needle and sew it in, because you can't. So what I do, I have a unbranded thin hook. This is a 3, it's a cheap hook. I don't use my good hooks for this, just in case if you bend it. I know they're very sturdy and everything, even if they're, they're smaller ones. They're still very sturdy, but I just don't want to risk them. Okay, so a cheap hook. And what I do is I just look for a little loop that you can go under, and I just loop my end around and pull it through there. There we go, see? And I just sit there and I do this for a while. So I just look for loops and pull them through. Look, so I've sewn it in 2 loops. Okay, so close by, I'll find another one. There we go. And I just put it around my hook and I pull it through. If it doesn't go one way, it will probably go the other. And that's, yeah, it's a little bit more time consuming to do this than just putting it on a needle and pushing it in. But obviously, let me just show you this closer up. Let me just zoom in there. See, that's what I'm doing. There we go. And then I just look for one here. And I sort of zigzag myself along the edge. And generally, I do this for the length of whatever you've got here. Okay, because that means it's well sewn in. Then here as well, I've now got these 2. I've got that little knot there. That's not going to be very obvious. I mean, I'm lining this, so it's not going to be visible anyway. But what I tend to do is just, yeah, do this. So let's just see if I can manage to go in between some stitches. Now, the thing is, I'm doing this one now, the middle one now, because obviously we're not touching that again. This one here, yes, I want to do it now because it's low down, and once we've worked our way up, it's harder to get to. But you have to realize we go through the actual stitch. So if you're in that location where you're supposed to be coming out, it might make it a little bit more difficult. So I tend to sort of go a row below. If you have to sew them in, make sure you go a row below quite quickly so that you're not in the way where you're supposed to be coming out with your hook later on in the next row. See, this is what I do, and again I do this for the length of however long my piece of cord is, and actually you could go into here and just weave yourself all the way there. Okay, so I hope this is a helpful tip for the rest of our project, of course, because you're going to have to put a number of ends in, and yeah, using a thin cheap hook, which if it bends it doesn't matter, is a great help for doing this. So let me finish this row here, and I will meet you, like I said before, when you have done your 3 rounds of steel. Okay, so I've made it to the end of that row. We're going to do our usual special slip stitch. So let's do that. There we go. Then we have to take our hook back out. Oops, go into this stitch here. Bring the hook around the loop around the hook and pull it through again. That's not enough. And reinsert the hook, pull it up, and then do your chain. There we go. So we've started our first stitch there. Then, so this is stitch number 1. So make sure you have 96 stitches all around. Okay. Then you are going to do another 2 stitches. So I've done the first one. Then you're doing another one and another one. So you need 3 stitches in steel, but this here now is going to be our color change. So I don't yarn over and pull it through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finally, we are going to start our second color. So I've got the end with the knot, and gently I pull out a couple of bits here. Okay, so undo the knot, and we are going to do 2 stitches in the new color. So you pull this through as if you sort of were crocheting with it already. There we go. Just making sure that everything is correct. So just pull your steel, pull your peacock a little bit. There we go. And then the next stitch we do in the next color, like so. And again, it just needs a little tug at the end just to make sure it's nice and tight, or the same tightness as the other stitches. Then another one. So just a few tips here. So you've done your second stitch, well, you're going to do the last pull through on it, and of course we're going to change colors. So you take your steel again and you finish your stitch. Then you lay your other color on the back like so, and then you just start working again with the steel, making sure that you go through that location that we've always been going through, and that you've got your peacock lying at the back like so. So you sort of gently tug it, keep it tight, and you do your stitches like that. Now we are switching colors quite a few times here, so each time we are going to be taking one along and then the one in our hand, and we sort of swap them round. That means your yarn is going to get entangled, but because you've got these 2 skeins, it's quite easy to just flip them around for a better word of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me just show you. There we go. So this is the 6th one. Now I'm going to put this one against the edge. Sorry, did you see that? So I'm doing my stitches, this one against the edge. Now I'm putting up, there we go, okay, and making sure we have everything nice and tight, I just pull the ends just to make sure that it's all going nice and tight. And I've got my steel lying across here, working with my peacock. Yeah, switching color now and pulling this tighter. There we go. And as you can see, look, they're turned around, but it's easily just to, you know, just keep doing that, because that helps towards the end. Otherwise you can do so many changes and then it just gets completely entangled. So if you just keep doing that, that will help. So this is how you're going to continue all along your round. So you start with the 3 stitches, then you do your 2, then you do 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2 all along until I meet you here. Okay, so you will end here with 3 steel, because we also need 6 steel stitches here. See you at the end of the row. And I have done it. I've got 6 steel, 2 peacock all along my row. And then here I am at the end, so I've got 3 here, 3 there. I'm going to go into there from the back and do my slip stitch. There we go, closing it all up, and we've got the 6 stitches there. Now I am going to take my hook out again and go into this sort of the first one, you know, sort of 1, 2, 3, the 4th one here. I go into there. That might not be so easy. Yep, there we go, did it. And then loop this over my hook and bring it through, whichever way you can manage that. There we go. Yep, take the hook out, lay this nicely so it looks like a stitch, and do your chain. There we go. And still we are taking this one along. So we're taking the peacock along with us. Now this time we are doing 2 steel. So this is the first one. Now the second one. Into there. And we are already then changing color to the peacock, because this time we are doing 4. See, yeah, still keep on making sure everything is nice and tight. This one here, now this is the end of, you know, this is the beginning of the peacock. You could lay this along and take that with you. That means you don't have to sew it in, or sewing it in will work as well with a smaller hook, but I'm going to try and take this with me, take that with me. Hang on. Okay, and there we go, and we are doing our stitches. So this time we are going to make sure, and there's an easier way to remember how to do them. So we are doing 4 peacocks, and we start them one before the 2 we did earlier. So let me just do them and then I can show you what I mean. So there we go. I've done that the wrong one because I need to be changing color here. Okay, so there we go, and I take the steel, put the peacock along, and off we go, and we pull it all nice and tight so it all stays nice. There we go. Okay, so we've got our 2 from the row before. Now we're doing 4, so 1 in front and 1 behind, so that way you can remember when you're going round you need to start doing your peacock here, here, here and here. Okay, so that makes it easier. But just to say, you're doing 4 steel ones and then 4 peacock ones. I will see you at the end of the row. And again, keep doing the same things, you know, with swapping your skeins around and with keeping your yarn at the back. And yes, I am taking this one with me as well, so I don't need to sew it in. But there we go. Oh, I really like how it's looking. Look at that. Right, okay. I keep looking at it. I need to do. Okay, so here we are. Going to do that special slip stitch. Pulling it through there. So we've got our 4 stitches there. Take out there. Go back into that stitch here. And loop this one round. There we go. And pull it through. And we're now in the wrong position, but we take our hook out and there we are. Do a little chain there, so it's our first stitch. There we go. So this time we're only doing 1 stitch in there. So going back in, and we are going to take the peacock to go through that loop. Okay. Then we are doing 2 peacock ones. So in there. There we are. 1, and again we are taking along. And I'm really enjoying doing these stitching and taking along the colours, because we're introducing a 3rd colour. Okay, if you got annoyed with having to do your, there's more of it. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing sort of that lace making, where you're moving the little skeins all the time, or whatever they're called. Anyway, so what we are doing is 2 peacock, right? So 1 in front and then 1 on top. So you know that you have to start here with this one here. So 2. Then we are going to start our 3rd colour in there. So this is the teal colour. No. Do it properly. Okay, so hold on to your end there and pull it through like so. Then you are going to have to do 2 teal ones. So keep all your ends along. And I know sometimes it makes it hard for you to get through your stitch, but keep it at the top of your stitch, and then it's still sort of, you've still got that place where you can actually get through and not be bothered by the yarn that is lying there. So then we go back to the peacock and we are holding everything. Where is the one that I'm supposed to be? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm just pulling this one, but I'm also pulling this one, so it's nice and tight. There we go. And now we are doing 2 teal ones. No, 2 peacock ones. Sorry, getting confused. But you'll soon work it out. There we go. And now I am finishing with steel. There we go. And I'm pulling everything just to tighten it all up. There we are. So we now do, hang on, before I go over that, what we are going to do, we are now going to also do 2 steel ones. Just so that I finish the little sequence. And then of course here immediately we are going to change color. So sometimes it's all too loose, but just pull it all and it will come together. So this is what we are doing. So we do 2 steel, then you do 2 peacock, 2 teal, 2 peacock, 2 steel, and so on. Okay? Right. I will show you another lot because look, as you can see, my threads are entangling. But what I tend to do is just sort of do, and I do this quite often at regular intervals, just so that it doesn't get all entangled. But yeah, I know it's a pain, but it's part of the way this is working, okay? Otherwise it just, you know, you can't change colors. And also look at how neatly we are doing this. So it is worth it. If you're not going to put a lining in your bag, then at least it looks nice as well on the inside. So there you go. That's the whole setup of doing this. So now I am doing peacock, keeping all my threads at the top of my stitch there. I am now going to change to teal, again holding on to all, and just pull it. And you know, take your time, enjoy crocheting. I just want to rush and see what it looks like, to be honest, but I am not going to do that. Okay, second stitch in the teal and changing color to the peacock and just pulling everything tightly. There we go. So it looks neat. And then we are doing our 2 stitches in the peacock and the second one, and again I'm holding all my ends, and now I'm using the steel again, pulling that. It's a technique, you get used to it, just take your time and do it at ease. We are making something that, you know, is not going to be something that's going to be put away or anything. We're going to be using this for a long time, so it's going to take a while to make it so that we can actually have a quality object. And now we are going to pick up the peacock again, and let's do some peacock stitches. Make sure the others are all nicely lying behind there. And to be honest, it's quite enjoyable. I just keep watching something on Netflix. I never tell you what I'm watching, because sometimes I'm watching something and I really like it, and then sometimes I'm watching something and I really don't like it. So if I then said, you know, so yeah, it's just anything I'll watch sometimes. See, and now I have to do it, but that's okay. And I just look at my threads and I just put them in the right place. It's quite, yeah, like I said, lace making. It reminds me of lace making. Not that I've ever done that. Okay, there we go. So just, I keep on pulling everything, and that's important as well, so that you keep having nice tight stitches. Have I got all my threads? Yes. Oh no, that's one too many there. Okay, so right, one more in peacock and then we're off. No, doing the steel again. So before you do that last yarn over, just think what you're doing the next stitch and you'll be fine to swap your colors. But yes, I am, oh, this is getting very exciting. I will see you at the end of your row. And I have finished my round. Oh my goodness, I am loving this so much. Oh. Okay, so now we are at the end, and I'm just doing my last stitch. Hang on a minute, because, you know, too many threads. And I should be finishing it, you know, in the steel going like this, but in the next round, these two are going to be peacock. So we need to come out with peacock out of our slip stitch. So because of that reason, I am going to do my change of color here. So that last stitch that we do, we are going to finish that in peacock. Okay, so that is there. Then we can then do our special slip stitch in the peacock. Yep, pull it through. There we go, and pull it tighter on all levels. All right, and then, of course, we're in the wrong, there we go. And then we can go into here, into that first stitch to get started with, of course, yeah, the peacock. So pull that through, there we go. We now have to take our hook out and reinsert it from the front. And again, yeah, here, get your peacock ready. So now we have made sure that we have this as a peacock stitch, okay? Because obviously otherwise we would have had a steel one there. So this time we are going to expand the teal. So we're going to do 4 stitches of the teal and bring our peacock one along here. So we are doing 2 peacock. Why? Yeah, okay. Again, make sure you take everything with you. And I am going to be, yeah, doing this one here. And everything lying, no. The grey, the steel, we are not using this time. So we are just going to leave that where it is. That will make some things a lot easier. Okay, and what am I? Yeah, I'm not taking with me. Okay, so yeah, in the beginning, when you've got your color change or your sort of stitch change, it's always a little bit sort of seeing which one are you holding, which one are you using. But once you're there, it works. There we go. So here we are now doing a color change and we're doing 2 peacock here. There we go. And of course we are doing then, you know, this is sort of the repeat, but then here we bring that peacock forward as well. So we are doing 4 peacock in total and 4 teal in total. So we are 4 teal, 4 peacock, 4 teal, 4 peacock, and that's your whole repeat. And then here we will have the 1, 2, 3, 4 peacock as well. So let's keep going. So yeah, here I am doing, yes, I did that too soon. There we go. Undo that one and bring this one in. Here, just tighten the peacock and off we go again. And if you do find that you've got some threads lying there which don't make it easy for you to get round, just do it gently. I'm sure you will get through eventually. Okay. Here we are with the peacock. There we go. And again, I just keep, you know, untwisting them like so. There we are once more. And I am holding this one to do the peacock ones. There we are. Voila. Oh, I'm liking this. Okay, so I've just finished my round. I am going to do my special slip stitch in the peacock because we just need to close the round. There we go. And we have 4 stitches of peacock here. Now we're going to do a round where we only need 2 here. So we're going to go into this stitch here because this is going to be peacock, so that's good. Let me just put this around my hook, tighten it up a bit and bring it through. There we go. Okay, take it out and put it back on and then do a chain there. So that's us started. So we are having this one as peacock, but the next one as teal. So, yep. change color. There we go. Okay, then we do 2 teal, and again taking this along, but we also need the steel again, so bring that in as well. Right, and that's going to sort of be a visible thing there. I did not want to take it all along because that's just wasting, you know, the cord if we don't need it. So we're now just having that on the end, on the inside. I think that's okay. Okay, so 2 teal, and that brings us to changing the color to grey, or to steel better. There we go. Okay, so tighten it all up and hold these colors here. So we're now doing 2 steel in there, and now we go back to teal. So bring that up and put that through, and 2 teal now, and of course now we are going back to peacock, and we do 2 peacock here, always in the middle of those stitches, so we keep forming those lovely V's, and in there, yep. And now we go back to teal. Actually, I think it's quite therapeutic. Okay, there we go. So 2 teal, and back to steel. There we are. And keeping those colours running along the back so we hide them, and yeah, back to teal. There we go. Okay, so this is how you are, yeah, like that. This is how you are going to continue. So we are bringing the steel back into our design here. So basically what we're doing is 2 teal, 2 steel, 2 teal, 2 peacock, 2 steel, 2 teal, 2 teal. Anyway, you can see what we're doing. 2 peacock, 2 steel, no, 2 peacock, 2 teal, 2 steel. Okay, so we are reducing the peacock, we're bringing in here, we're bringing out the teal, and then we're reintroducing the steel. And we'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I have come to the end of my round. Here I have to do a peacock one because of course we need 2 as we did everywhere. But in the next round I am going to do here on top of there, I'm going to do a teal one. So that means I'm going to take the teal and use that to finish my stitch here. There we go. Right, so now we are ready to do our special slip stitch. So out with that hook under the V there and bring through, there we go, and yeah, there we are. Okay, so those are my 2 teal ones, so that's my row finished. Take my hook out again because now we're going to do the first stitch of our next row, and of course that one goes into this one here, of course the first one from the last row, in there. Put that loop back around it there and just pull it slightly to tighten it and bring it to the front, whichever way you can manage to do that. Then of course we're in the wrong direction, so we take out our hook and we are ready to get started. We do a chain, there we are, and that is the first stitch done there. So this time we are going to do the teal ones, we bring them one to the side, so we have one here and one here. Oh, where are my other ones that I need to be taking along? Don't forget. Actually, we are not using the peacock anymore, so I don't need to take that along, so I can just leave that where it is. And we're doing 2 teal and then 4 steel. So immediately I am going to be changing color as well. There we go. So pull that one and tighten it all up. So yeah, making sure you don't need the peacock. So I'm just going to put that down there. And we are doing 4 steel. And then we are doing 4 teal, so bring that through, and yep, there we go. And then we are doing the teal. So we finished with the peacock for this design. And we are now finishing the design with the steel and the teal. I like the way it rhymes. Okay, last one here. Yeah, and we are changing color, so change it to steel. And it goes well, but then all of a sudden you'll find you've got lots and lots of twirls here, look. So then I just undo them again. There we go. Okay, and off we go again. So this is the one I'm using. This is the one I have to hold back. There we go. Okay, so this is what you will be repeating for teal and for steel. I will see you at the end of the row. Once again, I've made it to the end of my round. I have my 4 teal stitches here. In the next round, we are going to do just the 2 teal stitches, so one on top of here and one on top of here, so I don't need to do my slip stitch in a different color. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Pull it tight and bring it through. There we are. Okay, and then we are going to go into the 3rd stitch here, which is of course the first stitch of our round always, and we put that there, in there, the loop around it, and we pull it through that stitch back out again. There we go. Okay, and then we do it like so, and that's our first stitch. But of course, like I said, only 2 teal stitches here, so we are going to have to change color for this stitch. It's getting confusing, but it's okay, it works. There we go. Okay, so now we are going to do 6 steel and 2 teal. 6 steel, 2 teal. Okay, so that's the first one here, and this is the second one of our teal ones, which we're going to be doing here. And now we are starting our steel ones. There we go. Just pull this gently and taking your teal along. We are doing 6 stitches, so that means 5, and then the 6th one, the last pull through you do in the teal. Well, it should be a little habit by now. Okay, so let's get those 6 steel ones done so I can show you how to change color once again. I'm showing you so many things, you should know this by now. So we've got 2, 4, 5, and then here we have the 6th one, and we change colors here. There we go. and now we do 2 teal ones. So 1, 2, and straight away we're already changing the color, and off we go again. So I will see you at the end of the row. And I am finished with that last round. So I'm just doing that last teal stitch, but of course the next round we are going to do back in steel. So I am going to, yes, I've done my first sort of part of the stitch. Now I'm going to pull through in the steel so that I do the stitch, but I finish the round in steel ready for the next round. There we go. And of course the next round is going to be next week. So I hope you had fun doing this week, and I will see you for the next part next week. Bye! If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider sharing it with others. Thank you so very much for watching, and I also hope to see you on our Facebook group. Join me there!